エクシード隊任務開始だ。
本当にやるの？行くよみんな。
エクシード隊スペシャル。
最大防御魔法三中止。最大防御魔法三中止。最大防御魔法三中止。最大防御魔法三中止。
Okay, so let me just go over my strategy for this fight now that it's over. Let me just report this quest and I'll talk about the game plan here. So overall, I don't think this was like the hardest thing. It was more about the pre-prep of this fight rather than actually executing it. There was basically one major execution trick throughout this fight that I'm going to talk about. So first let me talk about my gear setup, so that my strategy that I'm going to talk about makes sense. So first, I have Indomitable. So HP cannot be reduced below 1 when taking damage while HP is at 25% or higher. So this basically stops you from getting one shot. It's really important for this fight. Without this, I think you could do it without this, but there might be some luck involved. But this is like a really important part of my strategy. And then we have Sharpest Tack, recovers 3% of damage dealt as MP. This basically gives me infinite MP since I deal so much damage that I'm regenerating all the MP I use each attack. Pomp and Circumstance is another important move, or lacrima combined with Indomitable. So what this does is restores 30% each turn. And if I have over 25%, I can't die. So this combination basically makes me invincible, unless when you saw during the fight, he would break me and stun me and get like extra turns. So that was like the only situation where he could be Indomitable. But in order to survive that, I would use my Awakening counter. So you have to pay attention to when he actually chains, like stuns and chains the turns, and Indomitable isn't going to trigger so that you can counter with Awakening. That's like the major trick throughout this fight. Otherwise, you will definitely die if you don't awaken at the right time. We have Core of Night. This is Urza's unique lacrima that gives her bonus 50% damage or damage dealt when health is below 50%. Now this is pretty random. You could almost switch this out for something else if you wanted, but I don't think there's really anything else worth it. You know, it's really tricky to stay below 50%, so it's kind of sometimes you just get a bit lucky with it. Army of 1, 30% chance of having another turn after acting. So, you know, this is like a quality of life sort of thing. This just lets you finish the fight faster by getting more turns, but not really necessary. These last two right here aren't that necessary, but these top three are like the main three that allow this to work. Anyways, that's it for this fight. Hope you enjoyed. I turned the animations off because if I actually let the animations play out, especially with how long Urza's attack is, like I swear this fight would have been over an hour, but I turned the animations off so it could go quicker. Also, I did drink I'll show you the beverage I drank here. So I did have this, which the what is this, FTOJ? Fairy Tale Orange Juice? Raises everyone's attack and luck by 12% for a while. So, you know, this just gave me more damage so that I could finish the fight faster. Pretty much the main thing that was stopping me from wanting to do this fight is because I knew it was just going to take a really long time, but it actually wasn't too bad. Anyways, peace everybody. DLC's coming soon. Characters, the first set of characters are coming out in like a couple days, I believe, so stay tuned for those.